Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bilco. This is their part number SD709-E2. This is an interior and exterior handle assembly only, and this is part of a family of 4 different inside-outside handle assemblies. The only way that they're different is the 4 of these is simply the length of the shaft. That's all that defines this. This one happens to be the longest of all 4 of them, and the shaft length on this is 5 15/16, and that's measured from where the shaft would turn, the overall length of the shaft. It's from where the shaft would end up in the handle out to the end of it. So if I'm really kind of gauging about 3/8 of an inch from where that roll pin is that holds the shaft in, that's where 5 15/16 comes into play. There is included with this this is your exterior handle assembly. This is going to allow you to rotate the key stock, the spindle itself. This will allow you to padlock that from the exterior side. Okay. This is going to include 2 hex cap screws, and you'll notice that the heads are of different size. A couple of washers. The thinner head will go here, the larger head can go there. Okay. This will include the interior handle. These are just zinc, or Zamac they may call it. Roll pin, already seated. Obviously it's going to go into that hole. You're going to drive that roll pin through, and such is life. Now, why would you buy an exterior handle set only? Well, because who knows? Over the years and decades, they do ultimately corrode. I have seen this key stock is just steel. I've seen it come thoroughly corroded. And that key stock is 5/16. The caliper tells me 0.313 and 0.313. That was actually 3.125. So that is absolutely 5/16 of an inch. You might replace this because you've got years of use on it, and it's quite clear that you have a Bilco roof hatch and you need a handle. And you can buy the handle assembly, and you don't have to buy the entire handle assembly with the lock mechanism. That may be okay. Or you can buy the entire handle assembly with the lock mechanism. That would be like an RPR SD709 perhaps. I don't think we have it as a kit with the 5 15/16 length spindle though, so you might need to purchase the lock body, the strike, the padlock hasp, the screws, and then this longer lock body, a longer shaft. Now, the purpose of this video is really visual, dimensional evidence of the item, a good look at what it is. This is for Bilco roof hatches. This is not designed or engineered to work on anyone else's roof hatch. And the reason I say that is because what makes these videos somewhat valuable in the end is, while you may not have any idea whose roof hatch it is that you have, you can look at this video and say that is or that is not the handle that I have. And if it is, then you're off to the races and everything's good. And if it's not, you can email us photographs of your material. We'll try to identify the manufacturer of it and then advise you accordingly. And the reason we want to identify the manufacturer of it is because a starter from a Chevy is not going to work on a Ford. It does the same job, but it's just not going to bolt on and work. So that's why it's so crucial to find the right manufacturer of roof hatch and then get those parts. You need to have safe, dependable, reliable, safe operation on a roof hatch when you're 30 feet up in the air, potentially, and have the right equipment, especially when it comes to lifting mechanisms as well. There's a supporting documentation, a document that I'd like for us to review, and let's cut to the screen view and do that now. Okay, here's the document that I'm referring to, and this is going to show the different variants of the SD709. We're dealing with the E2, and that gives us a shaft length of 5 15/16. This dimension A that they refer to, you can see that it's 4 11/16 on our chart. And that dimension A is when the unit is completely assembled and the handles are on, that's what you're going to be left with. So you know, dimension A may be the more important dimension at 4 11/16 for you to be able to review. So if you have a standard non-insulated lid, just probably made of steel, certainly made of steel if it's this, because they make these also in stainless, and that's where you would use non-ferrous components. The second page here would be the stainless steel material. You don't want that unless you have to have it, because non-ferrous base material is going to substantially increase the cost of the hardware. So if you have a steel lid, there's no sense having a stainless or non-ferrous handle. If you have a typical lid, non-insulated, you do not need the E2. This is only going to be when you have a 2-inch cover that you need the longer spindle. This will be a 2-point lock as well, so that may be a tip-off that you're dealing with the SD709-E2. Okay, other parts that you can see are on this drawing. And by this time, you should be able to buy every single subcomponent that's listed here. We should have all of these on the site. And making it easy for you to continue to get useful, you know, again, safe operation out of your roof hatch. You know, there's a particular roof hatch manufacturer who doesn't want to sell parts. He wants to sell entire hatches. Well, sure, I would like to do that as well. It's just, you know, I need an $80 part, not a $2,000 roof hatch, or a $1,500 roof hatch and $1,000 in labor from the roofer. That's absurd. So being able to buy just the parts is where we're coming from, with the video, with the supporting documentation from the manufacturer, and the support from the manufacturer. If you're not sure of what you need, you're going to want to absolutely send us a photograph of what you're working with, the composition and the size of the lid, and then any serial number that may be on the sidewall. That will allow us to be able to, the serial number that is, to go to the manufacturer and ask that they pull a bill of materials for that serial number, and they will absolutely tell us what you need. No guesswork involved at all. Let's switch back to the camera view and wrap up this video. Now, the name Bilco is synonymous with not only good quality roof hatches, a comprehensive offering of that material, but good customer support as well. You know, getting a hold of their parts department or some of their specialists. They're very good support people, and they are able to agreeably support their product line, and they do so, and we work with them quite closely. It is not advisable whatsoever to install equipment onto a roof hatch other than the equipment that the roof hatch was designed for by the original manufacturer, especially when it comes to lifting mechanisms. The spring rate, okay, the weight of the lid, the size of the lid, all that conspires to mean a particular part for a particular roof hatch, and we will absolutely help you determine the correct one and move forward accordingly. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Bilco products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Bilco SD709-E2 interior and exterior handle assembly with a 5 15/16 overall length spindle, or any other Bilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.